Hey guys, Dennis here.
Christy.
And we got Tamara there.
Hello.
And we were just talking about how this is really close to being on
Oh,
time
yeah, we
tonight.
did pretty good this time.
It's my fault. I distracted him.
Hey, we get distracted easy though. Alex will not be on the live with us tonight. He is feeling sick, so please keep Alex in your thoughts and prayers. I know Dan has been going through some stuff, and then his daughter has been sick too, so please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. But it's been a while since we've done an actual open discussion and a dive in one of our cases. I was watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved the other night, and this particular case, Kathryn Adam missing out of Salina, Kansas, they were covering over on their channel, and Ricky has been doing a pretty deep dive into this case. And someone over there asked if we could do the live discussion on this case. And this is one that we have had for a while. Alex and I spent hours going through it. And so, yeah, absolutely. We wanted to come on and do this discussion with you guys. You guys are very helpful with these. And Kansas Missing and Unsolved, they do a lot of great things over there. The link to their YouTube channel and their Facebook page is in our video description tonight. So if you haven't followed them, please do so. Really great people.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump into this.
All right. So the case we're talking about tonight, guys, Kathryn Louise Adam. She's been missing since April 29th of 1993, missing from Salina, Kansas. She was 35 years old at the time of disappearance, 5'4", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a light-colored shirt, dark-colored slacks, and a blue and white Royals jacket. She does wear eyeglasses. She has pierced ears. She has a freckled complexion and dimples in her cheeks. Her maiden name is, and I hope I'm not butchering this, Swenson. And she may use the last name of Swenson Adam. She has scars on her knee, left shoulder, back, and right finger, and moles on her breast, neck, left ear, and left cheek. So, you want to keep going, or are we good?
Oh, yeah.
Want to talk about it? Okay. She was last seen at 4:30 a.m. on April 29th at the Quick Trip convenience store in the 1700 block of West Crawford Street in Salina, Kansas. She drove a white full-sized van. She has legs written on the side in blue lettering. The van turned up abandoned at 5:45 p.m. the day after Kathryn's disappearance. At Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of Westport Boulevard. The restaurant was closed for remodeling at the time. The van was splattered with mud on the outside and blood soaked on the inside. Excuse me. It had reportedly been drove 60 miles that could not be accounted for. A person who worked at the Russell's Restaurant at the time has reported that the employees that worked there, including workers doing the remodel, were all questioned by law enforcement. At that time, only 3 people had keys to the building. 2 of these people have since passed away, though. A large amount of blood and some bullet fragments were also found at a storage unit in West Salina, Kansas, along with indications that someone tried to clean up the mess. This was where Kathryn, a salesperson for Legs Hosiery Company, picked up stock each day. There was no sign of Kathryn except for the blood, and she has not been heard from again. Authorities stated there was enough blood to indicate probable fatality. Authorities speculate someone attacked Kathryn when she went inside the storage unit. It appeared they interrupted her in the process of loading the merchandise in her van. leaving the door to the storage unit wide open. Investigators believe whoever was responsible for Kathryn's disappearance knew her and her routine. Kathryn was separated from her husband at the time of her disappearance and in the process of a divorce. Her teenage daughter, who reported her missing on April 30th, the case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. So, was there one more? Did I miss one? Oh, I sure did. In April 2021, a human skull was found in West Salina, Kansas, in the same general area as the storage unit. It was determined to have been a male, so it was not Kathryn. They also said that additional bone fragments were found under a tent near the skull. So, goodness.
Whew. So, my first question to the viewers is, what, if anything, kind of jumps out at you with what Chrissy read? And also, Alex brings up a good point here. Basically, a 30-mile radius as far as the 60 miles unaccounted for the van. 30 miles one way, then 30 miles back to where the van was, give or take. But 30 miles out would be about the furthest they could have went with that mileage.
Well, to me, it just sounds like someone did know her routine, and I mean, but did she have any? Do we know if she had any like bad beef with anybody besides, like, I know she was in the middle of divorce, but was it on bad terms? Was it?
Other than the divorce she was going through, I haven't found anything that states that she was having issues with anybody. Law enforcement believing that, somebody knew her personally and knew her routine who done this. That kind of makes me think that law enforcement has more on this case that they cannot reveal publicly because it could jeopardize their investigation. Because just somebody getting robbed, somebody getting killed at a storage unit, that in itself doesn't say that the person knew them.
Right.
But with the amount of blood, there was bullet fragments found in the storage unit. That much blood to me seems to come from more than just a bullet wound, unless they hit an artery, something along those lines.
I think it was maybe a robbery gone bad. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Well,
but what would they have robbed her of?
With the amount of blood that's found both in the storage unit and in the van raises a question to me: was this a crime of passion? Something along those lines.
Go.
So, Tamara, what kind of jumps out at you with this case?
Hold on, Tamara. Hold on, honey.
Okay, I got
it. There we go.
It's in a different place. I'm used to Zoom. So I know you had mentioned the husband and that's usually the first place they look, but the police I didn't see anything where the police have information about questioning the husband, or anything like that. But I could see a robbery too, but I don't know. I mean, is there anything about the husband at all that you've seen?
Yeah.
I have seen very, very little about the husband. And Alex asked for clarification, was she the legs hosiery supplier for local stores and she was picking up supplies? All I've been able to find on that was she was a salesperson for legs hosiery. To have a storage unit with that much supply in there would make me think she does supply stores, but I haven't seen anything that confirms that.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's one of those things where like you're like a distributor, because he has it on her car, whether she was like an independent distributor and she made money off of it, or she was just a distributor for the company. Depends on how they had it set up back then. But yeah, that's since it was on her her vehicle as well. It sounds like it was something along that line.
Yeah.
See, there's the
yeah.
van right there.
Yeah, actually, as I'm looking at Reddit here, I found a couple interesting things. And I mean, you never know with Reddit, but one comment was interesting is, who knows if this is true, but it says, I used to work with her niece, and according to them, her ex-husband would get drunk and admit to killing her.
Oh, goodness.
She was also reported, according to the same niece, dumped at a pig pen to get rid of the body. Again, you get all kinds of rumors and things like that. So you just never know. And that's where you kind of get down that path of, well, someone thinks this and someone thinks this. So.
Saying it was through comments on a Facebook post that I seen. People were questioning the employees at the restaurant that the van was found. And at that time, there were no regular employees there, just the construction going on, remodeling. Mm-hmm. And they did report that all of those guys, as well as the employees, even though they wasn't there at the time, they were all questioned by law enforcement. That's where the 3 people had keys to the building at that time. 2 of those have since passed away. But there was also a comment that the keys to the van was found basically almost a block away in the ditch. So I haven't been able to confirm that. That was just a comment somebody had put out there.
See, that's what I'm wondering. Like Mac and what Alex has said, did she have any money on her, checks, anything of value? See, that's what I'm wondering. Because back then, as a distributor, they may had to have carried that stuff with them. Everything nowadays is electronic, so you don't have to worry about that. But, I mean, some things back there, you have the blue case that you zip up and lock and take to the bank,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, because if it was checks, they would have been able to see when someone cashed it in theory. And again, it's a little different now too. But if it was cash, then yeah. So even if they didn't know what it was, if they saw that blue bag, that might be all it took.
Yeah.
See, in 1993, I wonder how many businesses was predominantly credit card back then. It wouldn't be that many, you would think.
Well, I mean, just depends. I mean, I guess it just depends. I mean, if you're delivering to a big company, I'm sure they have slips that are already filled out and ready to go. So, yeah, cash was king back then. That's right.
We're also talking about Salina, Kansas. It's not an area that's full of great big businesses.
Yeah.
So if she's supplying stores, it's going to be small locations for the most part.
It's like I told Denny earlier, I didn't even know that's how they did that with that company. I was, oh my goodness, they deliver in a van. My goodness. But yeah, but see, yeah, you've got that blue bag that's got the word, the company on it. You take it to the bank and that's how you deposit and blah, blah, blah. So,
years ago, back when I was 16 working in a restaurant, I was management in a restaurant, and our bank, the restaurant was in a mall. Out in the mall parking lot off one end was the bank we used. So when we would do a deposit, all the money would go into a blue bag and I would walk it to the bank.
Yep.
But when our supplier would show up to deliver stuff, we had some that would bring a bill and we would have to pay them right then. Yeah. So if the actual manager wasn't in there to write a check, because only she was authorized to do that, I would have to go into the safe and pay the guy in cash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that guy would have the cash with him.
Right.
And if she had something similar going on to where these companies paid her cash for what she brought in, she would have cash on her.
I think the big thing that sticks out with me though, when you talk about it, they didn't have everything electronicized yet. Yeah. So everything was, here's your money, it wasn't whatever.
And Alex, that's something we're going to have to look into, and see what stores were there in the area, especially as far as big box stores she could
Yeah.
have been delivering to. We have some other cases in Salina too, and later this year, maybe going out there and doing some searches.
And see, Mac's right. It was all paper, everything. I mean, you're going to have a paper trail because that's all they knew. That's how it worked. So.
And one of the reasons the paper trail was moved away from is that was so easily manipulated.
Oh, yeah. Goodness.
Do you know if there was a lot of crime in Salina at that time?
I don't think there was. I still got to do more research into that side of it to know for sure. But I don't think Salina's really known for like a lot of crime.
93 doesn't seem that long ago to me, but it was.
Hey, Bobby.
Catfish, you're late.
But see, it says here the van was driven 60 miles that could not be accounted for. So that's another question. I mean,
Yes.
Could they have been taking the van to get product? Was there? I wonder if she had some stock in the van already, or that was just the getaway vehicle at the time.
She was loading the van when this took place.
Yeah.
So it's believed that she had already loaded stuff into the van and was continuing, and still had the door open to the storage unit.
Because if it was just over, if they were just trying to rob her, they did a hell of a job. I mean, gosh.
In 60 miles unaccounted for the Salina area.
Yeah.
60 miles is a lot of miles for that area.
Yeah. But to end up at that restaurant like that, that's.
See, in that restaurant there, that's the exact restaurant where that was.
Yeah. So I'm assuming. Oh, wow. I mean, look at that. Look how, there's hardly anything there, but that was then. So.
Now, I don't know the date when this picture was taken.
But it kind of reminds me of Salina. I mean, there's not much there.
And pull her picture up again.
I'm assuming that very top one with her hair, I'm assuming that's the latest picture they have. Because it looks like she's got her blue and white jacket on.
And that one I almost didn't put on here because it is kind of blurry, but there wasn't a whole lot of pictures to choose from.
Goodness.
And the population of Salina in 2020 was about 47,000.
Oh, so low. Well, someone had to have known her routine, I think. But the amount of blood Denny and I were talking about, I mean, it's almost like they had to have killed her. That was it. I mean, there was no way she was getting away.
Yeah, I think they said that it's considered a homicide, or they're investigating it like a homicide. So just because of the amount of blood.
Mm.
Again, from what I'm seeing for Salina for today, Salina has a low crime rate and is known for its low cost of living, good schools, and cultural events. In 2023, the crime index rate was 27 offenses per 1,000 people, and that was an increase from the previous year.
Yeah, in 1990, there were about 42,000 people in Salina. So it's kind of, it went up a little bit, but it's been decreasing the last couple of years.
Well, it says that then after all was said and done, someone tried to clean it up. So,
Yeah, you would think if it was a robbery gone wrong,
yeah.
it'd be a different set of actions. But I mean, you just never know. So
I still think it might have been a robbery gone bad. What do you think?
yeah, and there's not much around Salina. I mean, like I said, it'd be a 30-mile radius would be the max, like Alex said. There's really just a bunch of other really tiny towns is around. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's not like went to a big city or anything.
See, I wonder if there were a lot of problems between her and her husband, like that post or that thing you had said about her husband when he drinks. But I mean,
It's hearsay. Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to find the crime statistics for Salina in 93, and it's given all of Kansas.
Yeah, we don't need that. What do you guys think? You think this was a robbery gone wrong, domestic situation? What do you guys think?
You know, for me, though, if it was a robbery gone wrong, why load her and why take her elsewhere, drive the van somewhere else, drop the van off, leave the door open to the storage unit? Granted, they did attempt to clean the mess in the storage unit, but for a robbery gone wrong, that person's going to want to get away from there quick.
Yeah.
And instead, this person moved DNA and evidence to multiple locations and took the time to do that and wasn't necessarily in a big rush to get away.
Right. I'm wondering if she had like enemies. You know what I mean? Like revenge or something.
I would like to know, and it gets into the personalized, but I would like to know more about their divorce. Why were they separated? Why were they getting a divorce? To see if that could possibly shed light into what happened here.
Alex is wondering if there was a keypad used in 93 to get into the storage unit. No security fence. I mean, that makes sense too, unless someone followed her in.
I think I read somewhere that there was not, which I know several years ago, I've had storage units and they didn't have a keypad.
Right.
I've had one where there was no fence or anything. You just pull up, go right into them.
Alex says maybe in the vehicle with her at another storage unit. Yeah, because that's true. Because if there was a fence, they were waiting for her. Unless they were on foot and snuck in behind her. I don't.
Yeah, I think I saw something that said there was an offense, but I'm not sure if that was accurate or not.
Yeah.
But there's also all the mud on the car, so it went somewhere.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to check the weather. I can look at the historical weather. It might go back that far.
Meaning how the person got to her. I mean, that makes sense, though. If there was a keypad, you got to do everything and then wait for it to open and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it stays open for a little bit.
Yeah. So you can easily walk on in if you did.
And I definitely want to do a follow-up live on this in the near future. And I want to invite Kansas Missing and Unsolved on with us. Because I know Ricky, he's went in, he's found all the old newspaper articles
Yeah.
covering this case and digging into that, and I think it would be really good to bring him on and discuss all of that.
Well, quit getting sick.
Well, Alex and sickness, man,
I'm telling you, poor
has
guy. Poor guy.
he has had a rough go for the last year plus.
Yeah. One thing after another, it seemed.
Alex, we're just gonna wrap you in bubble wrap, put you in a pure oxygen room, and just leave you be. We'll slide you some food and drinks through a little opening in the door or something, and we'll keep you well.
Be the man in the bubble. Your immune system is terrible. I would say so.
Since Alex ain't on here live with us tonight, I could say this.
Yeah.
We couldn't actually lock him up like that because then he couldn't get into Tammy's makeup.
Alex just said, fat kid in a bubble. Max says, move somewhere warmer. Exactly.
So if you had to give your top theory in this case, where would you be at?
Robbery. You?
I'm still going to go with some kind of crime of passion due to the amount of blood.
I mean, if there were bullet fragments, if that much blood, then they knew where to hit her. Well, it depends, honestly.
It would have had to have been an artery hit because the storage unit was covered in blood.
Yeah.
The van inside of it was completely covered.
And I'm wondering, and I know it's a shot in the dark, but when did surveillance cameras come out? I'm wondering. Would there have been surveillance cameras, maybe?
We've had that date written down before because that's come up in other cases. Yeah. And I don't remember when that was, when that really started to gain popularity.
If that was the case, the husband could have known her route and followed her. I even told Denny that too. Maybe it was the husband getting back at her for something. Who knows? But we need surveillance. Gosh darn it.
I'm looking at the weather, the historical weather for Selena. And I've gone back to April 20th, and there's been no rain from the 20th to the 29th. So a muddy car means it wasn't just muddy somewhere. They might have had to go through a creek or something.
Okay, that is interesting because back behind the storage unit, and I haven't confirmed this on satellite imaging, but supposedly there's a patch of woods that goes back to a creek back in behind the storage area.
Yeah, I'm surprised for April. I have yet to see rain. You can see the participation by every hour for the 24-hour period, and it's saying it's zero, and the weather is actually pretty nice, 60, 70 degrees.
See, and Alex brings up a point there on the robbery, no mention of money or product missing. And I mean, let's be honest here. Hosiery isn't a big money ticket item that somebody's going to kill somebody to take.
Maybe they saw that she was loading the vehicle and figured, I bet she's got money hidden in here somewhere. She's a vendor. And could have been searching through the money or trying to search everywhere for money.
It's possible.
Yeah, it could be, it could be someone that, maybe was on drugs or high or something and was looking for money. But I mean, it seems like, again, there's a lot more involved. You know, there was a gun. It seems like there was a gun involved. Seems like, you know, there was an attack and then attempt to clean it up. And then I mean, it was more than what you would normally expect for, you know, maybe someone that really didn't know what they were doing, if they were just high on something and violent. But
Right. But the husband theory really sticks out at the same time, though.
yeah.
I mean, oh, Alex has a good point. More like she was tired of the husband. Divorce happening. She met someone, husband got jealous, and a crime took place. That makes total sense as well.
But it's surprising they couldn't. I mean, I know there's different situations, but if it was that simple, in theory, you'd think the police might have a better chance of, you know, being able to find out what happened. But maybe there was just no documentation. There was no way to prove anything either way.
Has anybody heard anything about her husband since all this happened?
I haven't, no.
Hmm.
That is a side of this that we definitely need to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing almost no rain. I've gone back to April 11th, that's unusual for April, because usually it rains quite a bit in April. There we go. Now we get some rain, a little bit of rain here.
And you know, with the husband, and Tamara mentioned this, a missing persons case like this, spouse, next of kin, best friend, whoever last seen the person, they are normally looked at first by law enforcement because they want to rule out as much of the logical stuff as possible before going further. So 1993 to today, you know, if this is as simple as a jealous husband, you would think they would have been able to prove that and at least bring somebody into court to face charges.
Well,
But then, you know, we've seen cases that do get solved, and it was a very simple explanation. But law enforcement, unfortunately, they can't say, okay, I see this stuff, so I believe this is what's happened, and make an arrest. They have to be able to prove that case. Or it can not only get thrown out, it can get to the point where they would never be able to charge an individual, and justice goes out the window.
well, Alex says the van could have been dirty for a while.
It's true.
Who says, I mean, there was mud on the van, but that's true. Was it fresh mud? Was it?
See, that's the thing that's kind of sticking out to me too, because it's talking about mud splatter. So if it was dirty and dirt, it would have said, to me, it would have said dirt, dust, along those. But the fact that it's mentioning mud splatter makes me believe that it was wet mud.
Yeah.
And with no rain in the area at that time frame, you're looking at any creeks, ponds, any, I don't want to say swamp area there in Kansas, but marshy area like that, the van would have drove through.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking through this because I'm using the Weather Underground, the historical weather, but it's not really showing any precipitation like in March or April. So that may have not been recorded properly. So I'm trying to find some other resources to get a proper bit of information, because I'm highly surprised that it didn't rain for 2 months. I'm sure it did.
Right.
So I'll keep looking. Usually Weather Underground's pretty accurate, but maybe since it was so long ago, they just didn't have that information present. But I'll look at some other places and see if I can't find something.
Alex says, let's be honest. I'm sure out in Salina, she probably was driving down muddy, wet, even snow roads. So,
but we're also at April 29th as well.
hey, it has snowed in May before.
Yeah.
Kansas anyway. So
Okay, I am finding some information through another one, Weather Spark. So yes, there were actually on the 29th, there were thunderstorms, light rain, and fog. This is, make sure I'm getting the right location. Yeah, Selena, 1993 in April. So yeah, so Weather Underground must not be as accurate. Usually they're pretty good. But according to this report, there was rain. There was the 27th, there were showers and light rain. The 28th, there was a thunderstorm. The 30th, there was a thunderstorm.
so
It wasn't
yeah,
a lot of rain. It's like 1/10 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. So it wasn't a lot of rain, but that's still enough to get mud on your car.
make mud. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously then you're driving not on concrete, you're driving on a gravel road at least.
Yeah.
Which there's lots of country roads out there, but if she was,
Yeah.
she was in town, mostly driving, then
So I wonder if she did sell to individuals. Did
Yeah.
she would she set up a booth at events? Like we have the farm show coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Did she do that kind of stuff too? Did she just supply stores?
Because the more I think about it, a company like Legs Hosiery at that time, wouldn't they have big distributors? Because that was a well-known company. What would she be doing as a little van?
Smaller area. It's not a big city area.
They could have merchandise shipped with that little cargo van or whatever kind of van it was. And then what exactly was she hired for?
So that makes me wonder, because she's a salesperson.
Right.
So that does make me wonder if she did go out and set
I'm
up
wondering,
a booth.
right. Well, not only that, but I was getting ready to say, Alex hit right on the nose. You could have gone to pharmacies, excuse me. They have always got stuff like that. Little mom and pop shops. I mean, smaller companies, not like a Walmart or something like that. That makes sense. Because I would think a big company, they would ship it. So what exactly how did she sell it?
yeah, I mean, she had it on the van, and back then it's not easy like it is now, where you can just get some vinyl or a magnet.
Yeah.
So to have it on your van, your car like that was pretty significant. I mean, it wasn't like as easy as it is now. So
I'm wondering if she was one of those that says, "I'm from Legs. You need to see our product."
Yeah, like I said, kind of like a direct sales.
Yeah.
See, and this also took place really early in the morning, because she was last seen at 4:30 in the morning at the Quick Stop.
Yeah.
And from there over to the storage unit. So,
That would probably be something you could probably call. I'm looking online. I don't see anything specific yet, but you could even maybe call the Legs company. I think they're still around, and see if they have, some history or someone that would know the history.
Yeah. Because that's what Alex just said. We need to find someone that that did the same thing she did, because it does. I'm wondering exactly what was her exact job as a salesperson, driving a little van like that and having a storage unit with product. I mean, yeah, not a lot of big box stores were around yet, but I mean, like Walmart, Kmart, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember always seeing it in the store. I remember the commercials.
Yep.
Maybe in the mall, but.
Yep. I remember Kmart's having them. Remember, Meg? Kmart? Yeah. Let's say. Nothing.
Triplets Mini Storage is the name of the storage unit at Magnolia and Centennial Roads.
Why was a big company like Legs in a storage unit?
That's probably how they did it back then, though, because this is also a complete different time than today.
I guess I'm just so hooked on how things run today,
Mhm.
that I forget that there's.
Okay, this Vocal Media reported that Laura, who is the daughter of Kathryn, had started calling some of her mother's co-workers and learned that Kathryn hadn't made any of her scheduled store visits that day.
Oh,
I bet she was little mom and pop shops coming in to restock.
yeah. Interesting.
She kept her inventory at the Triplets Mini Storage and would
So-
go there each morning to pick up the products she needed to restock the various retail stores that day.
So she could like have bought the products wholesale, from like a large truck, which is why she had the storage. And then she would then be that go between either through Legs directly or as an independent, either way, and restock. Because I
Yeah.
think it's different now. Now you have the great big semis that come and deliver everything. So back then, and I remember hearing that for other things too, things would be bought in bulk and then like a local person would then restock. So that could be, whether it's independent, or whether it's just part of the company.
Right.
They also reported that she kept meticulous mileage records in her van.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the investigators were able to tell exactly how many miles the van had been driven since she filled the tank up that Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And 60 miles. So as Alex pointed out earlier, 30-mile radius.
He even says her phone number was on the back of her van.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the driver's side rear bumper, there's damage.
And when you're looking at a 30-mile radius in that particular area, there's a lot of places out there that could hide something.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that and that large of a space, I can kind of understand why nothing's been found yet. But you would think at this point. But again, they still, in this time frame, they still don't have the technology we have today.
Yeah.
Their budgets are a lot smaller, limited resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for an older case, I'm sure there's more current ones that might be a little more pressing. So, at least in their mind, I think I did see something that said they do go back and, go through the case on a regular basis. So it's not like they're ignoring it. They still do keep up with it. But if there's just no new information, then it's difficult to assess.
Absolutely.
Take action.
Alex says, look at driver's side rear bumper damage. Let's pull the van back up.
I can't. That's hard to tell.
I think it's on the one that he just sent.
Oh, he sent you one.
Oh, okay.
That's the group. So I have a feeling that she probably, if she had mileage that careful, and my guess is she'd keep her van pretty clean too.
Yeah. He is, Alex. He's getting to it.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Wow. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, because here's a question too. It's like, so when they believe someone else drove it, don't they have fingerprints from the steering wheel?
That's some question that I had too.
or within the car door should have fingerprints. The back door had to be closed. The driver's door had to be
Right.
open. So unless they're wearing gloves, then there's nothing. But I'm assuming they did prints in that, and maybe they just didn't turn up anything.
Right.
But if they're wearing gloves, and that shows, someone's trying to hide their identity. So that shows
Right.
premeditation. So in theory.
And this is very interesting. If you guys remember how the legs display was, I don't know if you can see it, but that's just a display. Can you all see it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just a giant display rack. Oh, that really is not helping. Anyway.
Now, it is reported that law enforcement did start with the immediate family in interviewing in their investigation, but it doesn't go into any details of it. This kind of goes more into the daughter and future life afterwards.
But I'd really like to get a hold of her husband or something of that nature, because
I'd like to talk to him and some co-workers for sure.
Right.
And the police department and talk with them. Just another sad, unfortunate case.
Doing her job at work and
This one, it seems that when you look at one particular theory on this, all you get is questions.
Yeah.
So you step aside and go a different route, go a different direction, and you get the same questions. I would definitely like to have Kansas Missing and Unsolved come on and go into the discussion with this on what Ricky's uncovered in his dives on this. And so, Alex, I'm going to ask you, if you had to pick your top theory with this one, what would your theory be?
I can see him too.
No one, Alex, he's thinking it over.
Yeah. Yeah. Husband or boyfriend.
Yep. Another thing that kind of stood out to me, and, this in itself doesn't mean anything because I've got a ton of scars from all the stupid stuff I did when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But she's got scars on her knee, her shoulder, her back, her finger.
I mean, she sounds like...
She sounds active.
Yeah. Alex says, just not feeling it was a robbery. The more I look into this, the more I'm starting to think otherwise myself now. Because nothing really points out to me robbery with the amount of blood and the way it was done, I'm assuming. I don't know.
And with law enforcement saying they believe it's somebody that knew her routine, with the work that she does, she comes in contact with a lot of people who's going to learn her routine of going there in the mornings and restocking to go out to restock these stores.
Because it says, unless a store person knew she was taking money for purchase or product. Talking money. Sorry. Is that what he said? I mean, someone could have overheard that, I'll just go put this in the bag that I take to the bank, or, you know what I mean?
I still think the creek behind the storage unit, I still think that's going to need to be searched to see if anything can be found back there. At this point, you're looking for Kathryn, of course,
Yeah.
but you're also looking for a potential murder weapon as far as a firearm goes with the bullet fragments there. And how many times do we see the guys out magnet fishing or diving
Right.
and pulling in firearms?
Yeah. I mean, Alex says taking payment for products. People, you can't hide that when you're in the store. You can't be like, oh, let's go to the back room here. Let me. People are going to see it. They know you're obviously a salesperson. You came in with product. You're, the whole 9 yards. So somebody could have watched her routine every day. I don't.
Then we need motive. What
She
would
had
be
money.
the motive?
She had money, and it was easy right there.
Well, with the hosiery, though, you're not looking at a lot of money.
Probably not, but enough. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, this one's tough.
Yeah, this one I see something that says that she was a saleswoman for Lakes Hosiery. So again, whether it's independent or for the company, either way, but it doesn't define it. But yeah, either way, you would still be doing, handling money from the sales.
Right. Yep. And Alex, but I would think the police would have tried and put leads together. There should have been something by now. You know what I mean? I mean, something since 93. That's the hard question. I don't think so. Alex asked, is Legs still in business? I don't think they are. Oh,
They underwent a relaunch under new ownership, Wingsong Global, and they plan to revitalize the brand and target a modern market through online retailers like Target, Kohl's, and Amazon.
so obviously you can't go to the store and buy it anymore. It's all
Right.
online. So yeah. Would or should call and talk to someone with knowledge and history to find out. In the 90s.
I know it's an active crime, and I know a lot of times the police won't release the reports since it's active. But it depends on the police officer, especially when it's been a significant amount of time. This one isn't as long as, like a 60 or 70 or 80-year-old case, but it would maybe hurt to ask if that would be available or not. The answer would probably be no, but you just got to ask the right person sometime. But since it's active, technically, they don't have to give you information.
Because go ahead, Denny.
We won't know if we don't try, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because apparently Denny actually went online.
Alex did.
Or Alex.
He shared those in our chat.
Oh, okay. Alex sent one of these to Denny. Look at what it would look like now. Hopefully you guys can see that. A big display. Oh, phone went dark. I mean, I don't know how well that's coming up on the screen. Back up. I'll let him do it. But yeah, they're displayed like that now, not those giant egg things. Because that's how they used to come. Remember, they used to come in like egg-shaped cartons. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah.
But that damage on the van, that still kind of concerns me there.
I mean, caught on something. Wonder if there was any remnants of like tree bark or grass or whatever.
Yeah. They should have at least,
Yeah.
collected whatever was there.
Right.
And probably been able to maybe know if there was if that was new damage or not. To see if that was something that the family said was present the day before or not.
Right. What's it look like?
Trying to see what kind of soil that might be. I would like to know what kind of soil that is. If it's more of a clay soil or a gritty soil, that could help determine, was this a road? Was it a field? Where
Yep.
that mud
Because
come from?
if you look at it, it looks pretty dry, but
It does, yeah.
I-
You can do a microscopic analysis, or even, if there's a lot of gravel and sand in it, that'll give you a good idea.
yeah.
But there are soil analysis labs you can take it to.
They really, really wanted to get away, or something was really caught on that sucker. Because, goodness. Because look all down the side of it. It's just filthy.
And it's both sides because there's the passenger side.
Right. Alex says, I wonder if they still have the van.
They should.
I know normally they won't get rid of that till the case is closed. If the
Right.
case is open, they would hold on to that as evidence.
And then,
And as substantial piece of evidence as the van is, you would think they would still have
right.
Yeah.
Mac put legs was started in 1969. My goodness. Still going.
Yeah.
Mac knows his legs. Sorry, Mac. Had to, bud.
Denny. Goodness.
I like Mac. Mac has been with us since very early on.
Hee hee. But yeah, this is just an odd case.
This is one of those that can get frustrating because the
Yeah.
answer probably is pretty simple. There's just so many possibilities there that it's hard to narrow down what it is that actually happened.
Oh, Haynes started, yeah. Because if you remember, legs, and then at the very top of it, in real tiny lettering, it said Haynes. I remember that.
I'm going to take your word for it. I didn't wear them, so I don't know.
I would prefer not to wear them. They're annoying.
But I agree. They should have had something to go off of by now.
See, but we also had, the fact law enforcement doesn't release everything too.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't jeopardize their investigation. So there may be a lot more that they had.
Yeah.
Just hopefully we can all help bring this lady home, bring the answers to the family. Yeah. Going on, 33 years now?
Yeah. Because she was, 35 when she went missing?
Yeah. Going on 32 years.
Mm.
That is a long time for any family to have to go through.
Yeah.
So I will get in contact with Kansas Missing and Unsolved and try to get a time scheduled for them to join us on here. And I want to look into seeing if we can get in contact with her husband, any co-workers, and I want to reach out to the Salina PD and talk with them and possibly her daughter.
Right.
And see if we can learn any more and see what we can do to help bring her home. I definitely want to search the creek and the wooded area behind the storage. And I also want to confirm where the keys to the van was found. Because if they were literally in a ditch about a block away, there's definitely a second vehicle involved at that point. And did anybody in the area happen to see what kind of vehicle that was? Because being that it's construction workers there, and Alex can attest to this, construction workers normally start early in the morning.
Right.
So there may have been people there who've seen another vehicle, but may not have put two and two together
Right.
to say anything about.
God, who would you even contact about? We need to find a construction company that was working in 93.
Hopefully I can go back and see what permits were pulled to do the remodel.
Yeah.
And through that, I should be able to find what construction company done the work.
Or you could simply call that diner. I mean, they've got to have records.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Probably easier your way. Max says, I've worked in retail in the 90s. You couldn't miss the display. Believe me. Yep, I know.
So, guys, I know many of the viewers will be digging into this case now as well. If you come across any locations of interest you would like to see searched, reached out to us, let us know. We'll get that added to our list. If you have any thoughts on this case, please reach out to us. Again, you could remain anonymous if you wish. The PO address is in the video description tonight. If you have any information on any of the cases, but you don't want your name known and you don't want us to know who you are, please send it to the PO address. You could remain 100% anonymous that way.
Did you want to talk about the farm show at all?
The farm show. The farm show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't have the address with me. It's in Kansas City, Missouri. If you're going to be in the area, please come out, come down, see us. We had a great time there last year. So many great conversations with people, and looking forward to it again this year. But we will be down there all 3 days this coming weekend, and looking forward to that.
Okay, Joanne just posted. Sophia Franklin is still missing out of Wisconsin. She is 16, 3 months pregnant, and believed to be with a 40-year-old man she met online. They are possibly in Arkansas. Oh my goodness.
And Joanne, I will get a video out. I'll try to get it out tomorrow evening, jumping into that case a little bit.
Yeah.
And yes, Alex, it's the American Royal Complex in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. It's it's the Western Farm Show, but they have so much stuff there. I mean, there is something there for everybody. And the kids are coming with us this year. Brantley cannot wait to see some of these drones. Told him about some of these that are so big, they bring them in on a flatbed trailer. And his eyes got that big around. He's ready to see these. But it's going to be a good time. I put the video out the other day that's got all the missing persons flyers and stuff that we're going to be airing at the farm show. We had everything from landlords of a missing kid, his family. This guy, his dad was the family's landlord.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people that's been looking into the cases. We've had people that is from another organization that helps basically abused women and stuff along those lines. We had retired law enforcement as well as firefighter, first responders that assisted in investigating on some cases we're working on all stop and have conversations with us on those cases, and it was just incredible. Missouri Highway Patrol have a booth there. I went over and talked to them last year. Very friendly guy. I look forward to going over and talking with them again this year. Has some questions I want to bring up with them when it comes to our search at Smithville Lake later this spring. But it's going to be a great time. So if you're in the area, definitely swing by out there. Come up and say hi. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways at our booth. We've got a bunch of T-shirts, koozies, keychains. Seems like I'm forgetting something, but
No, I think that's it right now.
But going to be a good time. Probably give away some candy too while we're there.
Yeah, I definitely want to look into that Sophia Franklin.
Yeah.
16. Goodness.
Alex has lots of candy. And last year, what we were doing, Alex came up with the idea that he was taping, because we had business cards we're putting out there. We had I printed off flyers we're putting out that explains what we do and kind of links to our stuff. So he was taping candy to that and putting it out there to help get the word out.
That's smart,
more.
Alex.
That's very smart.
See, last year we ended up giving away probably a half dozen T-shirts and 12 koozies, something along those lines. We've got, I want to say 12 to 15 T-shirts this year, 30 of the koozies, a bunch of keychains, and lots of candy. But hopefully we get to go live there this year. Last year, there was absolutely no phone signal inside there. So this year, hopefully we can go live. If not, we will definitely be filming videos in there, and we'll get that out to you guys that way. But fingers crossed we get to go live. The booth last year, this year's will be similar. We'll have the big TV up on the table, playing these flyers through, and be standing out there to speak with anybody that comes through. That is awesome, Alex. I know last year they were having issues with their Wi-Fi down there and the passwords and everything. And the first little bit was kind of a mess and touch and go. But once that got resolved, the rest of it went smooth and was just,
that's good.
It was a good time. You looking forward to going? Come tell everybody, come see you at the fun show. And my boy Brantley, and he is part of the future of Muddy Water Search and Recovery. Well, you can get over here on camera. I can tell you, we try to keep a lot of the stuff having to do with these cases kind of away from the kids just due to the nature of a lot of it. But he has come to me with questions about some of the cases. He actually brought a case to me that I didn't know about one day. And he just, he gets emotional with it, just what the families go through. And he's told me I don't know how many times when he's old enough that he wants to be a part of this.
Do you? I
think I am.
You think you are a part of it, huh?
He is a part of it.
My boy right here. Alex says you're growing up so fast.
Yeah.
Still my pal though, right?
I don't want to grow up anymore.
He doesn't want to grow up anymore. I don't blame him.
Hey, adulting is rough.
Yeah.
Oh man, but guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Um, let's keep Kathryn's family in our thoughts and prayers. You know, her daughter's 16 years old when her mom went missing, not having any answers. You know, let's continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, and let's do everything we can to help bring Kathryn home. So, Tamara, was there anything else you wanted to add tonight?
No, I think you covered everything.
I'm good. I just want answers. Something.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to bring up one more thing real quick. I can't go into a lot of details yet, just for security, that kind of stuff. But we do have 2 searches scheduled in April. April 5th, we're doing a search in Missouri. This is the one that Echo Divers may be joining us on. And the very next day, we have a search in Southeast Kansas, way down Southeast Kansas. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that. Both of these searches, the first one, we were specifically asked by family and a private investigator to film our efforts and share those with people just for some of the back stuff that's going on in that case. It will make a lot more sense at a later date when we're able to reveal a lot more. But both of these searches we will get to film. The second search, the sheriff's department will be on hand with us assisting in the search. So we'll keep you guys up to date on those, and we will go from there. And I second what Alex says here. We appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have been incredible from the very beginning. Megan, you got anything to add?
No, she goes, no.
So, guys, with that, hopefully next weekend, I will try to go live that Sunday evening and just give kind of a rundown of the farm show and what took place that weekend. But hopefully we will have live feeds out to you guys during the farm show. She said pizza rolls are done. So, guys, with that, thank you for joining us. And don't forget, check out Kansas Missing and Unsolved. I have a ton of links over in the video description tonight. So you guys take care, and we will see you guys down the road.
Okay. See y'all.